Riot Games was hacked. That's not clickbait. That's what's happened. Riot have said this themselves. Earlier this week, systems in our development environment were compromised via a social engineering attack. We don't have all the answers right now, but we wanted to communicate early and let you know there is no indication that player data or personal information was obtained. I laugh or giggle a little bit at the end because that last sentence right there is literally like what has saved Riot from being on every news item with BBC, CNN, Fox, you name it. If personal data had been obtained, oh my gosh. Unfortunately, this has temporarily affected our ability to release content while our teams are working hard on a fix. We expect this to impact our upcoming patch cadence across multiple games. Please be patient with us as we work through this, and we'll keep you posted as we continue our investigation. Not that it really matters to you, but just to be clear, for future videos I might make at some point, this is like my only time using Twitter. I do not like Twitter, but unfortunately the only way we can get information like this is through Twitter, because there aren't any other social platforms that do this. This was a week ago. Literally a week ago. This was posted 20 January. It's 27 January at the time of recording. As promised, we wanted to update you on the status of last week's cyber attack. Over the weekend, our analysis confirmed source code for League, Team Fight, and a legacy anti-cheat platform were exfiltrated by the attackers. I'm sorry if you play TFT, I don't, so I don't really, yeah. Today we received a ransom email. Now it's kicking up a notch. Now the heat's rising, right? Needless to say, we won't pay. Now we're going to go over that email at some point in this video. While this attack disrupted our build environment and could cause issues in the future, most importantly, we remain confident that no player data or player personal information was compromised. Truthfully, any exposure of source code can increase the likelihood of new cheats emerging. Since the attack, we've been working to assess its impact on anti-cheat and to be prepared to deploy fixes as quick as possible if needed. Now, we're actually also going to go over anti-cheat at some point, because little did I know that one website, one journalist managed to book an appointment or some sort of interview with one of Riot's former anti-cheat developers. And I think that's quite a big deal, but we'll go over that soon. The illegally obtained source code also includes a number of experimental features. While we hope some of these game modes and other changes eventually make it to players, most of this content is in prototype and there's no guarantee it will ever be released. Our security teams and globally recognized external consultants continue to evaluate the attack and audit our systems. We've also notified law enforcement and are in active cooperation with them as they investigate the attack and the group behind it. Really quickly, let's highlight law enforcement, because I don't know the scale, the extent right now, but what we do know is that Uber, Take-Two Interactive, which is Rockstar, GTA obviously was leaked, GTA 6 was leaked, and that was by a team of hackers called Lapsus, I think. They have been arrested in some shape or form. The FBI was after them. I made a video about it. We're committed to transparency and will release a full report in the future detailing the attackers' techniques, the areas where Riot security controls failed, and the steps we're taking to ensure this doesn't happen again. We've made a lot of progress since last week, and we believe we'll have things prepared later in the week, which will allow us to remain on our regular patch cadence going forward. The League and TFT teams will update you soon on what this means for each game. So what does all of this mean? Well, we're going to go over some of it, but I do want to have a look at a really interesting email. So Vice managed to find the email that Riot Games was sent, apparently. And it reads as follows, and I'll go over the effect on Valorant in this video soon. We have obtained your valuable data, Riot Games, including the precious anti-cheat source code and the entire game code for League of Legends and its tools, as well as Pac-Man, your user mode anti-cheat. We understand the significance of these artifacts and the impact their release to the public would have on your major titles, Valorant and League of Legends. In light of this, we are making a small request for an exchange of $10 million US. We uploaded a tree list PDF file which you can view the tree of Pac-Man and League of Legends source. If you require any files for proof, message us and we will provide you the raw file. In return, we will immediately remove all source code from your servers and from our servers and guarantee that the files will never be released to the public. We will also provide insight into how the breach occurred and offer advice on preventing future breaches. We suggest communicating through Telegram. You can join us here. We do not wish to harm your reputation or cause public disturbance. Our sole motivation is financial gain. We have sent this message to the directors only and have given you 12 hours to respond. Failure to do so will result in the hack being made public and the extent of the breach being known to more individuals. We also want to remind you that it would be a shame to see your company publicly exposed. Especially when you take great pride in your security measures, it is alarming to know that you can be hacked within a matter of hours by an amateur level hack. We urge you to take this matter seriously and consider our proposal. Well, considering I'm making this video, that didn't really work out. The whole publicly exposed thing. You know, I'm reading this on a Vice article, and we have more articles to go through. So yeah, Riot's PR team definitely moved fast on this. Riot's PR team moved fast on this because, and this is the whole thing, is if something bad happens in this sort of situation, generally the company has to just own the situation by announcing what's happening. And that's what they've done here. So what does this mean? Well, some people were concerned that Valorant might have a problem with not having any more content this year, or just what might happen, right? Probably not a lot, I don't think, thankfully. I was worried when I first saw this, then I read between the lines, and I also looked at some stuff and so on and so forth. And both via public information and not so public information, things do look like they're going to be okay. But that doesn't mean there's nothing's going to happen. So TechCrunch managed to get an interview with a man named Paul Chamberlain. Paul Chamberlain was, I believe, I think I could be wrong here, but I think he was the head of Vanguard, right? The anti-cheat that Valorant has, right? It's proprietary software, whatever. From Riot's perspective, it's bad, beyond just embarrassing. This is what he said. Because it makes it easier for cheat developers to understand the game and therefore easier to develop new cheats. It also makes it easier for third-party league server clients to get made. Chamberlain said that the legacy anti-cheat hasn't been part of League of Legends for 5 years, but given that developing cheats is as much, perhaps more, about the game itself than the anti-cheat system, having access to the game source code means you don't have to reverse engineer the release binaries, which are often also obfuscated and or encrypted, and gives cheat developers better access to the intent of the game code through comments and variable function class names. Access to an obsolete anti-cheat system is mostly a curiosity, but it could give some insight into how the anti-cheat developers think and what the company prioritizes in terms of what needs protection. So what's going to happen with Valorant? Are we not going to see any new agents, new maps, etc.? Well, I'm not going to go too hard into the dramatics and the theatrics. Right now, this is our main thing. Patch 6.02 is set to go out starting February 7, 1 week later than our usual 2-week patch timing, except patch 6.03 to follow just 1 week after that. Now, they have not specifically said that this is due to the hack, but I very much think that it's due to the hack. Now, what it actually means as far as anything past February 7, we don't know yet, but as I understand, relatively speaking, I think Riot kind of got off maybe a tiny bit scot-free. Maybe. And what scot-free means, if you're not like based in the UK or whatever, is essentially without any serious problems. I could be wrong. Maybe we will see some serious problems. We're seeing the authorities go after them, these hackers maybe. One thing that made me think about what could go wrong or what could happen here is the other companies that we're aware of, like Rockstar, GTA, and Uber and stuff. They are like American-based companies, I'm pretty sure. Riot's not American-based. Riot is obviously fully owned by Tencent, which is a Chinese company. So I do wonder if A, Tencent cares, and B, if China cares. Because, like I say, we've seen the FBI go after the GTA hackers. So it'll be interesting to see how that geopolitically plays out. But that's pretty much everything I know. And that's pretty much everything that's happened. And I know if I say that everyone's going to click off the video. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.